and it's the kissing booth. So, okay, what's up everybody? My name is Scott. This is my first YouTube video, and I guess this is like welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm not good at intros, so I'm not gonna be working too much on that. But today I'm gonna be talking about romance on this era. And when I say romance on this era, I'm talking about like TV, movies, and books, most of all. Why am I talking about this? I don't really know. I don't really even know what I'm getting myself into, but like the idea came to my mind and I'm gonna do it. So when the idea came into my mind that I was gonna make my first YouTube video talking about romance, I was like, I'm gonna search on the internet like something about it to see what people think. Because the purpose of this video is most of all talking about like toxic relationships and how they are portrayed on the big screen and on the books and movies and TV shows. So I was like, let me go to YouTube, to Google, to find out what people are saying about it. So I thought that when I searched for it on YouTube, it was gonna be like, I don't know, talking about why these movies are trying to make you think that a toxic relationship is good, or it was gonna be like the worst movies, or it was gonna be like these books are horrible because they have this idea of romance, because I think that romance is a little bit fucked up, most of all on this era, but in general. So I thought I was gonna find something about it on the internet, but when I put that on YouTube, it was like top best movies with toxic relationships, and I was like, what the fuck is going on here on this day, mama? Like, what's up? Most of the articles and YouTube videos about romance on this era are talking about how amazing these movies are that are like making you believe that romance is good when it has like these toxic traits. So I was like, I really now need to talk about it. So ever since I was little, I love like literature in general and books. So I was like, in this video I'm gonna talk first of all about how we see romance in books nowadays. And I am not an expert on this, so this video is most of all like me talking shit and giving my opinion about certain books and movies that are successful now, and that I think that are successful for a very specific reason. Now, talking about romance on books, I think that it's very important for me to highlight those books that are like very successful nowadays and that the public are loving, that the public is saying these are the best books of romance that we can read, or at least the ones that are selling, because that's like a very important aspect of it. We can start talking about After. I learned about After when I was like in high school. I was back in Venezuela and everyone was eating it up, honey, okay? All of my girlfriends were like, this is the thing, like this is the book to read. I never read it. I read it after. I read after, bitch, okay?
Child. Anyway, so
I think that what we need to talk about when it comes to this book is the toxic traits that are on the relationship and how the male protagonist abuses the girl like mentally and sometimes even physically.
What happened?
It's my boss. I have to get this.
Are you serious?
What do you mean you don't know what you don't want kids anyway?
No, I didn't. Now it just feels like it's been taken away from us.
Oh, get off me!
It's okay. You gotta leave. You gotta leave or I'm calling the cops.
Call the fucking cops. Call them. I'm not going anywhere.
That's not funny.
I'm not laughing.
She doesn't want you here.
You have no fucking idea what she wants.
Yo, it's not funny. It's really not funny.
How is this having so much success? And more specifically, because I'm telling you my experience, how it was so famous on high school. Like we were all, I don't know, 16, and all of the girls were like, I need a man like that in my life. And reading it, I was like, wow, like, do you really? In my opinion, this trilogy, because I think it's a trilogy, I'm not sure, I just read one book and I couldn't take it anymore. So I'm editing and I found out it's actually a 5-book series. So thank God I didn't keep reading. I think that this trilogy really told girls, teenagers, like, this is what you want and this is so magical. And I don't think that's good. Talking about other books, we can talk about Call Me By Your Name. With this book, I have many feelings. As a queer person, I am very tired of always seeing the queer representation on movies and books be about people dying, being about people in the closet. I think is like there's not many TV shows, movies and books that talk about queer relationships on a very positive light. And they could, because there are positive queer relationships in the world. So why aren't we talking about them? When it comes to Call Me By Your Name, it is so successful and so many people see it as amazing and representative. And I just don't feel the same way, because I don't know, to me it's like, is everybody ignoring the fact that this is a relationship where one of them is underage and we are all acting like it's normal and beautiful, and we talk about this beautiful man being in love, and I'm like, first of all, one of them isn't even a man. So why are we talking about this like it's a positive thing? And on the book, it is very obvious and it is very much said that the starring role or the protagonist is 17 years old. So I don't get how this is romance on a positive way. I don't get how this is so successful and how people talk about this like a very iconic love story. Another book that I think that pushes the toxic side of romance to the youth, to the young readers of the world is Through My Window, or A Través de Mi Ventana. It has a movie already, and that's something that I'm gonna talk in a minute. I think that this book is also like a very good example of how romance now is toxic on books, and that's the thing that's selling the most. Because let's be honest, if a book becomes successful, then it is going to become a movie, because that's the market to books now. Every book ends up becoming a movie or a TV show. And I think that talking about the commercial side of books, that is very much killing how very special books are being created. Because I think that the commercial part of literature now, and how every book has a movie, has a TV show, has a fan base, is affecting the really good stories that are yet to be created. So I really think that the fact that every book now has a movie, and that is like a defining factor to call a writer successful, is the actual reason why actual talented writers are being overlooked. I have a very specific example of these books that become a movie and are like super successful, and it's The Kissing Booth. So my mom actually loved this movie and I get it, but at the same time I don't. Like, baby, how are you leaving Harvard to the side to pursue a man? Like, honey, what's not clicking?
What's not clicking? What's not clicking? There's time.
The whole movie is very abusive. Like, the whole movie is very ridiculous to me, how everything plays out. And I'm not talking about spoilers, but I am, okay? I am. And I think that the whole relationship between the starring role, like the girl, and her best friend and the big brother is like, oh my god, what are these people going through?
I swear to God, if you laid a hand on that head, you laid a hand on her.
Hey, stop! Noah! Stop! Look at me. Noah?
What is going through their mind, and why am I watching this? I think that The Kissing Booth is a movie and it is a book that is made out of poorly made decisions. Okay, it's a book and it is a movie that is made of problematic stuff. There's also this book that became a movie that I don't know how you say that on English. Wait, give me a minute. Okay, I think that the book that became a movie, it's called 365 Days. Honey, I am going through it with this English, okay? But, okay, this book, I was very flabbergasted and surprised when I found out what this movie was about, because it was like the boom. And I didn't watch it and I didn't read the book, but I've talked about the movie with one of my friends, and it was like, when she told me what this movie was about, I was like, I cannot believe it. Like, I cannot believe that people are eating this up. Like, how is this movie about a man kidnapping a woman? Do you say kidnap when it is an adult? Well, I don't know. But what is it about this man kidnapping this woman and like saying that he's gonna make her fall in love with him in this 365 days? Like, what is this? Like, why are we watching this? Why is this selling? Like, what's going on? Oh my god, I cannot believe this is successful, and I cannot believe people are out there saying, I wish this had happened to me. Like, honey, are you crazy?
You done lost your damn mind. When you get your damn mind, you call me.
Are you crazy? Do you wanna be kidnapped? Like, I get it. The man is handsome, but honey, there are levels, okay? And no. And also, we already talked about After and how it was a book that became a movie, but I want to talk about something else that has to do with After. And what I want to say is that most of these books and movies have a man in the position of power, and that is what becomes the whole narrative of the romantic story that the starring role is going through. For example, we can see on The Kissing Booth how this character that is the big brother of the girl's best friend is now interested on her, and she is interested on him, and it becomes a whole drama, and it becomes a very, like, I don't know, I feel disgusted by it. How this big brother, older brother, that has the power in the whole dynamic and is like this protective figure, is now putting this girl through it, and she is going through it because she messes up too. Also, talking about Call Me By Your Name, we can see how Elliot has a man that's older than him being in the position of power on the relationship or thing going on this romantic story. Romantic. I want to give a very important example of the man being in the power when it comes to toxic romance on this era on movies and books, and it's Coriolanus from The Hunger Games. Honey, I am gonna talk about it, and some people may hate me, but some people are crazy. When The Hunger Games started, or when we all watched it and watched the movies and read the books, everybody hated Snow. Like, we all hated him. I don't know of a person that liked him or was like, slay mama. I mean, I think he's a very good villain, but he would never be a character that I would say like, he's an amazing human being. Like, no, he's not. I think I have the book behind me. Let me see. Okay, and then after we all loved The Hunger Games and hated Snow, this book came out. And I don't understand how people are saying, oh my god, we love Snow now. Poor him. Like, boo-hoo. Come on. And obviously, the actor that played Coriolanus in the movie is a very gorgeous man, I can say. But that's the actor, okay? Now people are acting like he's a human being. Now we know what happened to him. We have to understand. And I don't have to understand anything, first of all, but why are we now being forced to love Coriolanus now? Like, do nobody love him? He is a man that through the whole book and the whole movie was in the position of power. And talking about Lucy Gray. And also when he was the president, no, but talking about the time when he was with Lucy Gray, he was in the position of power. We could see that through the whole movie and the whole book. We could see and we can read how narcissistic he is. And now I don't get how this has become like a very beautiful love story. A very tragic and beautiful love story that has made us all love him. Like, what's going on? When did that happen? To be honest, I think that the genre of romance on books and movies is fucked up. And mostly because of how much the cheap toxic romance sells. And that's very sad to me. Now, we are gonna talk about Wattpad. Yes, Wattpad. We are gonna talk about it. You can see the type of stories that are successful on Wattpad. And like it is very evident. We can see it because of the stories that have become like real books, like paper books, and the stories that now have movies, TV shows, and that have a whole fan base. Let's be clear, I think that Wattpad is a very well thought and very iconic platform. It is amazing because like when I was a teenager and I found out about Wattpad, I was like, can I be a writer? And can I be a reader too that don't need a book on my hand to read a lot, at least? Because I was in Venezuela and having books in Venezuela was difficult when I was a teenager. So it was like an easy way to read and to write. And I think that it's a platform that gives an opportunity to writers that maybe don't have the money to auto-publish a book. And now to be published by a really big editorial, you have to be like, I don't know, have a following or be a YouTuber or like be famous, and not everybody has that. So I think it's a very good platform. But also, we as consumers of the platform decide what to do with it. And I think there are really good stories on Wattpad because I have read many good, excellent stories on Wattpad. But there is also like crazy stuff on Wattpad, like Peppa Pig level crazy stuff. And we as public and consumer decide what to take from the platform. And people obviously take the stories that are like this toxic romance cliche. And I'm like, come on. There are so many good writers on Wattpad, and the ones that are becoming successful from the platform are the ones that are telling the stories that we have already seen, read, heard, and that we are kind of tired of it. Why do I think that people love these romantic, toxic cliches? To be honest, I think that people are tired of believing that love is real. That's my point. Like, people are tired of pretending love actually exists in this world. And love is real and can be positive. And we can see that on TV shows like Heartstoppers, which I love. I love Heartstoppers, but not everybody does. And you can see people like throwing hate at Heartstoppers for being positive and being like slow romance, because I have watched reactions of people watching Heartstoppers being like, oh my god, when are they going to when are they gonna have sex? Why is this so pink? Like, why is this so positive? And I'm like, honey, the show is talking, the show is telling you their story and how they are struggling, but not like in a toxic way to each other. But you still want one of them to cheat or one of them to beat the hell out of the other. And it's like, come on, it's not about it. And why can't you believe that this can be real? Also, another important factor of why I think that people love these type of stories is, and we're gonna talk about this word, trauma and emotional damage. What am I trying to say? I think that a lot of people go through difficult relationships and abusive relationships and toxic relationships and crazy relationships. So when these people watch a movie that talks about this abusive, crazy, toxic relationship and gives this couple a happy ending, some people get hope and say, oh my God, this can happen for me. And maybe this crazy man that I'm with or this crazy woman that I am with is gonna end up changing, like the starring role of this movie that I'm watching. So I think that the trauma that we as public have when we watch a movie and can relate to it, like it is a very important factor of why it sells and why these big companies keep pushing this content towards us. What am I saying? Why am I doing this? Why am I speaking in English? Oh my God, I'm crazy. So the whole purpose of this video also is for you, the viewer, to understand that yes, there is this big content, this big successful bunch of movies, books, TV shows that are gonna talk to you about toxic relationships and very like abusive romance. But also there is content and stuff out there that talks to you about how romance can also be positive and can also, like, I don't know, tell a story about a struggle that doesn't have to be damaging in a toxic way to the relationship, like from one part of the relationship to the other. And a good example of it, talking about TV shows, could be And with an E is a TV show that I recently watched, and I was like, wow, this is very beautiful because it's not all about romance, but I feel like it talks about romance in a very lighting way, in a very, I don't know if positive, but real way without being toxic. It shows you how difficult it can be to have a relationship in that period of time, and it shows you the struggle that some characters go through when it comes to their relationships, romantic relationships. Also, another recommendation that I have for you is Aristotle and Dante discovered the secrets of the universe. I think that's the way you say it because I know the title on Spanish, even though I read it on English. I have the books here. Wait, I love these books. This is my favorite book ever, and it is romance, even though I don't read romance that much, even though I am talking about it, but I most of all read like fiction and fantasy or sci-fi, I don't know. But this is my favorite book because it is very real and rough, and it is very romantic in a way that I found out to be beautiful. I just love it so much, and I am telling you, if you haven't read this book, go and read it, and you will know that there are good books that tell you a romantic story and that show you the struggle of the characters and their, I don't know, the ups and downs that they go through, and it's not in a toxic way, at least not in this book. In this book a little bit, but I think that, I don't know, you should read this. That's all I'm gonna say. So this is the end of the video. This is my first video. I'm not a professional about romance, and I'm not a professional on YouTube. So let me know on the comment section, what do you want me to talk about on my next video? Maybe I'm not gonna get any comments, but I don't give a fuck, okay? I'm still gonna make another video. I don't know, like and subscribe. I think that's what people say in here. So thank you for watching.